Facebook world. Welcome to this broadcast. Tonight is the final week of the What Not to Say series. As of next week, we're going to get back to covering what to say, and we're going to talk about some discipline, how to discipline your children without killing their spirit, and how to get them to do what you want without having to nag and remind and yell all the time. But tonight, this is the last one of the What Not to Say series. Hello there, I can see you joining. Please say hi. Tell me who you are and where you're from. Hello, hello. Hey there, Robbie. Hey there, Lauren. Hello, hello. Listen guys, parents, teachers, grandparents, anyone out there that has any level of interest in what kind of influence we have on children, tonight is so important. I purposely left this one till last because I wanted you, for those of you that have watched this whole series, I wanted you to have some of the knowledge from the past weeks up your sleeve so that tonight makes even more sense. Hey there, Dean. Hi, Tanya. Okay, let's get started. And those who aren't online yet, they can join us. They can join later, or they can watch the replay. Now, there's how many of us are so guilty in one way or another for using the words "I told you so." Let me give you a few other examples of how we say this. We might not use these words, but the subconscious message is exactly the same. Hello there, Christy. Hi, Sue. So some other ways that we say "I told you so" is, well, what did I tell you? What did I tell you? Yeah? Could be, see, I knew it. Didn't I tell you that? Yeah? How many of you say that? If you can already hear yourself saying this, hit your like button or hit your love button and give me some feedback on that. How many of you are guilty of, and it's not our fault, we don't know what else to say, yeah? Some other things are, you didn't believe me, did you? Well, you should have listened. So that's another way of saying, see, I'm right, I told you, yeah? It could be, well, guess that proves I was right, doesn't it? Or even something as simple as, that's what I said, remember? Remember I told you that? Do you remember me saying blah, 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 blah? And like I said, hello there, Bronwyn and Liska. Like I said in the title of tonight's video, parents, you can say this to your children who are 50 years old. You could be a 70-year-old parent and you've got a child who's 50 and you've even got great-grandchildren. And this will still cause disconnectedness in your relationship with your children. I believe that no matter what age you are or how old your children are, we all want to build connection with our children. And so this will completely destroy that. And let me explain to you why. Hello there, Kirsty. So, see, well, here's what happens, and this is just a bit of a life lesson, right? Being right feels good. Sometimes it's where we get our self-worth, and that's not a good thing, but tonight's not about that topic. But it is our way of proving our worth to ourselves, right? It gives us a feeling of being on top, and it kind of reaffirms our own intelligence, and it's how we claim superiority. True or not true? All right? True. Yes, Alison, I can't wait to meet you. So being right feels good. But here's what I want you to remember. Being right breeds resentment. Just ingrain that in your mind. Being right breeds resentment. Anytime that you make yourself right, by default, you're making somebody else feel wrong, okay? And nobody enjoys being in the role of being the one who was wrong. And everything that I teach is about conscious parenting. It's about parenting on purpose, being purposeful with the way that we parent. Not just parenting by default, parenting by programming that we were given, but parenting on purpose, being aware and being conscious of all the situations we're in. It doesn't mean being perfect, but what it does mean is being aware of it when we're not perfect, okay? And the whole purpose of parenting on purpose is to raise conscious kids. And the whole point of that is to be able to, give them an environment where they can feel safe to be a full expression of themselves. And it's never too late to be a full expression of yourself, which is why this applies to anyone of any age right now. Okay, it's all about building closeness with our children. So when you make yourself right, you cannot be right without someone else being wrong. And being right breeds resentment. Okay, so it's, what we want to do with regards to raising conscious children and conscious people is We want them to be able to admit when they're wrong. Isn't that an incredible character trait? You know, when somebody's got so much self-esteem, somebody's got so much confidence, so that they are totally open to going, hey, I'm wrong, and they don't beat themselves up about that. They don't get eaten away at on the inside. We want to raise children that are just as comfortable being wrong as they are being right, okay? Otherwise, if being wrong is always a bad experience and it feels deflating and it feels diminishing, what happens? All we do is we raise a whole nother generation of children who never want to be wrong. And so therefore they have to be right. And in order to be right, they have to be defensive and they have to be critical and they have to, be judgmental and all these things, they have to, develop these kind of survival traits, if you like, to criticize, to judge, and to do all these things as a bit of a threat response to somebody that might be about to be right, which then makes me wrong. So we want our children to be able to, for feeling wrong, to not even feel like a bad thing. It's not deflating. It's not diminishing. It's just you're wrong. But the way you do that is without being right. Because isn't it true that all of us, including our children, we know when we're wrong. We don't need to be told. And we get the lesson. If we can tell ourselves we're wrong, we're more open to the lesson. But if someone else is telling us we're wrong, we have to be defensive. And in that case, we have to put up a guard and we have to convince ourselves we're not wrong. Okay, so we want to create a space where our children feel safe to go, yeah, I was wrong. And how they'll do that is by feeling more connected to us, not disconnected. And we disconnect ourselves when we make ourselves right. So all I want to say, here's the thing, parents. You can be right if you like. Go ahead, you can do it. I mean, there will be infinite opportunities as a parent to be right. If you want to, you can be right about the capital city of a particular country. If you want to, you can be right about the response their teacher will give them if they're late. You can be right about the fact that they'll get XYZ punishment or XYZ detention if they haven't done their homework. If you want to, you can be right about the fact that, how much petrol has to be put in the car and how much that's going to cost, or, go ahead and be right if you want to. But just ask yourself, at what price and at whose expense am I right? What is the price of me being right now? Because if you really need to be right against your children to build your self-worth, and that's the only place you can source self-worth from, then I find that sad. And I would say embark on a personal growth journey. Okay. But so just ask yourself, at what expense what is the cost of me being right now? If your goal is to build safeness, is to build connectedness, we need to create a space where our children can identify that they're wrong and we don't have to tell them. Because you're not telling them they're wrong because if I don't tell them, they won't know they were wrong. That's not even why you're telling them that you're wrong. It's got nothing to do with them. You want to let them know they were wrong, or you want to let them know how right you were, because it gives you a moment of power. It gives you a moment of superiority. But it does it at the expense of the relationship. Hello there to all of you. Hello. I see you all there. So everyone, teachers, parents, grandparents, everyone. So if you have any questions, go ahead and ask. I'm happy to stay here for a couple of minutes, but that's really the crux of my message tonight. What we need to eliminate from our parent talk is anything along the lines of, I told you so, what did I tell you? See, I knew it. That's what I said. Well, you should listen to me next time, shouldn't you? All those things are just another validation that I'm right and you're wrong, and I'm better and you're worse, and I'm superior and you're inferior. That's all we're doing to our kids, and all it does is create resentment, and it creates distance, and it disconnects. It never feels safe, and all we do is we raise a group of people that feel the need to defend themselves because they feel like they're not enough if they're wrong. And they go through life, having to justify everything they do to themselves because they can't be open to being wrong. And if you can't be open to being wrong, then you can't ever improve yourself. Because the first step to being able to improve yourself is being able to take responsibility and admit, hey, I could be better. I could change that. The life I live right now, the thoughts I think, the situation I'm in, it's my fault. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm handling this the wrong way. But it takes courage to do that. Good, everyone good? I can see you making a few comments there, refresh that all good now. Beautiful. So just remember, most of the time your children know they're wrong without you having to tell them. So if you need to gloat, if you need that for your own self-esteem, parents, please do the world a favor. Do all of us a favor. Gloat privately. Go and tell your partner or someone else how right you were and get your sense of self-worth that way. Because, doing it any other way just breaks down what I believe we as parents are trying to build. So here's the deal. You and I, if you can take this on, if you can be conscious about this, if you can make a decision to eliminate this kind of language from your parent talk, you and I will both benefit. Here's why. You'll be glad you did, and I won't have to say, I told you so. As I always say, guys, don't leave here the same person you were when you got here. It takes courage to change. It takes courage to take information like this on board and to go, hey, there could be another way. It takes courage to admit that you're wrong. It takes courage to, to give our children the space to be right, or to even make it safe for them to feel this way. So as you depart from here tonight, please depart from here with courage. The courage to believe in a better way, the courage to voice what you've got to say, the courage to thrive when times are tough, and above all else, the courage to know you are good enough. Good night, everyone.